All right, welcome back to Spitball Cinema, and today we're going to talk about everyone's favorite Christmas movie. It's Die Hard.
Get together, have a few laughs, have a few drinks.
There you go.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I got no idea why people argue as to whether or not this is a Christmas movie. It is obviously a Christmas movie. They just released it super early
because
so they can make lots of money on it.
People don't think about Christmas movies in that way, as an action film. They think of it as like It's a Wonderful Life, Scrooge, stuff like that.
I don't know.
But this is actually a movie set around the Christmas time, I would say.
And it does
Yeah, it's a
have
Christmas movie.
Yeah, it has Santa Claus in it.
There you go. Ho, ho, ho.
I mean, he's bleeding in an elevator, but
Well,
Yeah. No, I mean, Die Hard is just excellent movie. I watch it every Christmas. I really do. I'll throw it on. It's like it's on my list of things to watch every Christmas.
do you do what I do every time that part comes on? Christmas time at Hollis.
No, I don't.
No.
But I do. I do take off my shoes and I make little fists with my toes in the carpet while I watch the
Do
movie.
you?
So, yeah.
All
Dude,
right.
that was like the start of like Bruce Willis's like action career.
oh yeah, it was.
You know?
It was.
That's like his big. In fact, I think that was the big controversy too. Was they were trying to get other people to do the film, and Bruce Willis's like agent was like, "Well, Bruce could do it. Bruce could do it. Bruce could do it."
Well, and
they didn't want him
he was
initially.
going back and forth, running from the Moonlight set to the Die Hard set. He was doing
Yeah.
both of them at the time, and he was trying to break out away from the moonlighting thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I if I remember correctly, Stallone was attached to do it, but then he pulled out at the last second or something like that.
Really, I
Yeah,
did not
there's
know
a-
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like a list of people, all not Bruce Willis, that they wanted to do the movie,
Right.
and they just could not get anyone to do it, and they were just like, "Really, the guy from Moonlighting?" They were just like, "You got to be kidding me." Yeah, but I loved Moonlighting. I thought it was a great show.
Yeah, I
Oh,
used
yeah.
to watch it.
In fact, I think my favorite episode is when they did the Taming of the Shrew. They did the whole Shakespearean thing, which I thought was excellent. But yeah, Bruce Willis in there. But yeah, the movie itself is excellent. I mean, you got like the world's greatest villain, Hans Gruber. It's just excellent. And then who's the actor that played the cop?
Oh, from Family Matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reginald.
Virginal.
I can't think of his name.
I was trying to think of his name. That man, after that movie, he made a career out of playing
A cop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like that's all he
Yeah,
did after that.
yeah.
It's like he got typecast and he didn't care. He made a living off of playing that role for the rest of his freaking life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just did.
All right, well, let's go back to the first thing. So when you heard about Bruce Willis, I mean, he only did a couple Blake Edward comedy movies before this one, right?
I did Blind Date
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Kim Basinger, and he did.
He did that
That
one
was
with James
forgettable.
Gardner. What was that one he did with James Gardner?
Oh, Sunset.
Sunset, yeah. Which was not that good, but
Yeah.
It was pretty good. I mean, it was different.
It was different.
A different take on Wyatt Earp and
Yeah.
Tom Mix. It was kind of interesting.
but so when you guys heard about it, or did you see the trailer and go, what?
Oh no, to me the trailer looked like fun. As soon as I saw it, because at the time I loved Moonlighting. I really did. I loved that show, and so when the commercials started coming out, I'm like, really, Bruce Willis? I was like, oh, this is cool. But he was throwing all the one-liners, throwing out all the one-liners.
Welcome
and
to
those-
the party, pal.
Yeah, he had all the big explosions. It looked like a Michael Bay film at that point. With all the big explosions and everything. So it just looked like a lot of fun, and it was. That was the thing. It's like you got a trailer that didn't give away the story, looked like a lot of fun, had all the wisecracks, and then surprisingly had really great cast. I mean, you had
Monty Bedelia.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then when
Yeah.
the FBI guys who come in, but Alan Rickman was just the best. I
Yes.
mean, as far as villains go,
Oh yeah,
he was just so good.
Well, and it's his voice too. He's got that voice that just it's just unique.
Just his
yeah.
acting,
You know.
like when he was like, shoot the glass. I mean, that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
badass.
Oh yeah. Well, it was a smart film. He realized that he was barefoot. shoot the glass, make it to where he can't,
Right.
can't walk. Let's cripple him. Let's do these things, So he was a smart villain, and
Right.
you just don't get those anymore. You get the villains that you're told that they're smart,
Yeah.
but you never see.
Well,
him
he
do
was
anything. It was-
sophisticated too. He was that
Oh, yeah.
sophisticated guy. He wasn't just a thug. He was very like a well-educated villain.
Oh yeah.
I remember when this came out, I was doing a play at Kansas City, Kansas Community College called The Diary of Anne Frank, and I was running the sound for the play.
There was sound in the Diary of Anne Frank.
Yeah, I was running all. I did all the sounds.
Yeah, I thought she
Just
couldn't
saying.
talk. I thought she couldn't talk or hear.
Yeah.
Guy, are you thinking of Helen Keller?
Oh, maybe I am thinking
right,
of Helen
that's
Keller.
right.
Yeah.
My bad.
Never mind.
What a bunch of idiots,
Yeah, well.
morons!
I get my
with the-
blind and deaf
It's
people
called-
and my
I was-
Nazi
I was-
hiders,
I was wondering why you were-
separated from each
It
other.
was called.
I was wondering
a
why
deep-
you guys were laughing. I'm
it
like,
was
Well,
a
she had
deep-
to be quiet.
It
when
was a
hiding.
deep
I mean,
cut.
the
It
girl
was a
got
deep-
killed by
it
the
was a deep
Nazis.
cut to Clerks 2.
she got killed by the Nazis, and your guys are laughing. I'm like, what the hell?
It was the
Anyway,
running joke on Clerks 2.
Okay, we're not talking about
Yeah, and
Clerks
Bonnie
2, Dick.
Bedelia, yeah, everybody went and saw it because of her. Good choice there. You guys haven't even fucking or even mentioned fucking Alexander.
What?
What's his
Hey,
name?
Dave,
The blonde hair guy.
Dave, come back to reality here, Dave. Dave.
Die Hard?
Yeah, the
Oh.
blonde.
I was in the middle of telling a story
Yeah, he looked
again.
He looked like Fabio, but not.
He was
Anyway,
a
go
way
ahead.
better actor. Remember, he was in the Money Pit.
Oh, wait a minute. We're talking about way better actors? Scott at Community College
No,
Theater. Let me hear it.
never mind. Let's just move on because you're
See
so-
how it feels? See how it feels, you fucker?
Well, that doesn't
This
even
is
make
the-
sense.
This is what we're thankful for,
It doesn't even make sense how you
it
just
doesn't
went on
make
this
sense,
rant.
uh,
It didn't
I
make
wanna be
sense.
in-
I just went on this great little segue to get it back to Scott's story, and then you guys just dropped
It's
it.
him
Yeah.
and being in a fucking play where he.
Well, he's doing the sound.
Well, that
and-
wasn't the point. I
fucking
was
put a
just gonna
fucking-
say I
he
was
did a
doing
fart
the.
sound and
Doing the sound.
See, he won't shut up. You know what? Before
Yeah, too much
we
caffeine.
started the podcast, he wouldn't shut up with his stupid fucking phone. But now that we're doing the podcast, he won't shut his mouth.
What are you talking
You know?
about? The phone.
He's on his phone when I'm trying to do
the
something.
The videos, yeah.
You were looking up.
This is the
Yeah.
part where it all breaks down, and you guys sound like an old married couple.
Yeah, I mean, I just every time I start to tell a story, this fucker interrupts me every time.
Well,
you
stop
know?
talking and finish your story.
Anyway, I was running the sound, right?
Jesus. Sorry, this
And
episode's
the
gonna be
whole-
long now.
The whole cast we're talking about Die Hard. Everybody was just talking about how great this movie was, and I hadn't seen it yet, And so they were talking about how Bruce Willis, how he was doing all this crazy stuff, with these one-liners and stuff. But I just remember that so vividly that when I was doing this thing, that Die Hard came out, and everybody in the freaking cast was talking about this movie.
Oh yeah,
Right.
it was definitely the must-see movie. That's like that was it. You just had to go. That's
Yeah.
exactly how it was. I remember going with just a big group of friends, and everybody was just cheering and laughing, and like even the limo driver, running up and punching the guy at the end, as he's trying to escape from the Nakatomi Plaza. He's trying
Right.
to drive out in the ambulance. He just runs up there and pops him. And everyone's like just cheering.
Well,
But
and
you just don't get films like that anymore, where you get the where everyone's just has such a good time that they stand.
And the
up
way
and just cheer.
Bruce Willis and Bonnie Bedelia were the husband and wife that kind of had drifted apart, and they were kind of heading for divorce, but trying to work it out and stuff. That little spat between them, the arguing at the beginning was pretty realistic. The way they were kind of at each other there.
Yeah, well, it set up a lot of the tension in the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Because you had the slimy sales guy, that was doing the drugs and all that. He's kind of hitting on her, and,
Right.
And Bruce Willis is just like, ooh, he's like, yeah, I'm a cop. He's like, oh.
Well, remember when he's in there and he's sniffing coke and he catches him, and he comes out and he's kind of wiping it, and Bruce Willis looks at him and he says, "Miss some."
Yeah.
Like he's not. Willis is he sees everything.
Yeah.
He's that New York arrogant cop. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not really arrogant,
was-
but cocky.
Right, which is actually part of the issue with his marriage and stuff.
Right.
So, you know, it played into the storyline. So yeah, you had a really believable storyline. I mean, and all the way through, like even all the side characters had their own stories, like the reporter that
Right.
was constantly trying to find out information, and then at the end, you know, winds up showing the picture on TV. So now they know that they're married, and Hans Gruber figures it out, and you know, and then they go and they, what was it? They like storm her house to threatening the cleaning lady.
They put her on TV. That's how he sees who she is, you know, Hans Gruber towards the end and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, and then she winds up and punches him, you know.
Yeah.
Right at the end,
at the end,
It
yeah.
was just that slimy reporter, you know, type of, you
It
know.
was the bad guy from Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it was just I don't know. It was just
He
one of
was
those
in
perfectly fun movies.
Sugarland Express with Steven Spielberg's one of his first big ones with Goldie Hawn. He was the main character.
Wow, I didn't even remember that.
Yeah.
I guess that's true, isn't it? That's kind of
Mhm.
wild.
Yeah. But he kind of graduated to always playing that jerk role. You know, he played it so good. And then the guy that's the cop, the head cop that comes there to try to negotiate, the one that was in Breakfast Club, the guy that was in the Breakfast Club, you know, he's such a dick. You know,
He's got that dry.
yeah, and
humor.
he's always a jerk on all of his movies. You know, he's in Trading Places and
And then,
yeah.
because then they had the FBI agents show up. And,
Robert Davi.
Yeah, they were like taking over everything, and the guy was just like, yeah, "These guys are assholes." You know?
Yeah.
And then they died. And he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna need some more feds."
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, they had a lot of interesting characters. Everyone had a kind of a role, you know, in that movie. Like you understood, you know, and even if it was just like little background bits. I don't know. It was just really solid writing for an action film, and the fact that your hero got beat up along the way, which wasn't always the case. You know, you'd always see movies where you know your action heroes, if they get shot and they're still running around doing everything, you know. But he's got his feet wrapped up and you know in like cloth and stuff because he's got his feet all cut up and he's bleeding and still dirty from crawling through the pipes and the ducts and stuff.
And he's going through all this bullshit in that one scene where he's in that what is that, like that crawl space or something, and he
clicks on the lighter.
And he says, "Come to the coast. We'll get together. We'll have a few laughs." You know, he's just pissed off. You know, I mean, it's typical Bruce Willis. You know what I mean? You know, you're like he's in the middle of all this shit, and he's pissed off now at his wife for getting him into this situation. You know, for him having to come out there. Yeah.
But it was just, I don't know. It was just a very good. It was a feel good movie. All the bad guys bought it at the end. You know, it was just a fun movie.
Well, the action scenes were pretty incredible. I mean, they were just pretty fantastic.
They actually blew up that whole floor. You know,
They actually
just blew up a whole floor inside of the building.
Wow.
They a lot of practical effects in that one. And in fact, when the Hans Gruber character dies at the end when he's falling, that was actually some pretty cutting edge special effects at the time, because they actually had him drop off of
it's like 35 feet, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 30 or 35 feet, and they actually had him drop off and land on the bag. So then, of course, they continued it later, but the whole time, I guess he was just terrified. He was like clutching onto the edge,
right?
And he's like, all right, we're gonna count. We're gonna let you know when, you know." And they just kicked him off, and they filmed it. So he was totally in shock.
Because he thought they were going to do it a little bit.
He's trying to build himself up. And
that look on his face is really fear in his eyes as he's falling.
Yep, no acting needed, just terror. Which was just great. But but Die Hard was just always it's one of my favorites. Pull it out every year.
Well, and
it's got all the Christmas music too, which was fun. And at the time, it was like middle of summer when that came out. Super hot outside, and you go into the nice, cool movie theater, and you got all the Christmas music, and you just got that atmosphere. Yeah, so I don't know. It was just a good timing for the film, and to me, even though it wasn't released as a Christmas film, it just lends itself to it, and it's just too much fun.
Well, who would have known that Bruce Willis would have taken a saying that Roy Rogers made famous and put his own spin on it?
Now I've got a machine gun too.
No.
I was gonna say I never heard Roy Rogers say that.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
I think you may have left off that last bit.
Yeah.
The Roy Rogers side.
I love that banner, the banner back and forth when he said, "Are you an American?" And seen too many thinks he's Marshall Dillon, John Wayne, and and he goes, "I've always been fancy to Roy Rogers myself, partial to Roy Rogers, and that whole thing, was just it was a different spin on that. Everybody was like, "Oh wow," especially some of the older generation who grew up watching Roy Rogers.
Oh yeah, catching all the Saturday.
Yeah, and then to have him say that, and he was like, "What?"
Well, it was also pretty good because when Alan Rickman, when they actually face off, and Alan Rickman does his American accent, and he's just like, "Oh, you're one of those terrorists," and I just remember me kind of be taken off guard, like, "What?"
Hey,
because you just don't expect it.
Have you fell asleep here, or what? Are you going to talk? Or are you going to sit there and just look crazy? Huh? I'm just wondering.
Oh, I'm sorry. I get a chance to talk now.
Yeah, well,
hi, I'm David. I'm part of
it's Spitball Cinema. I mean, I thought I was going to have to wake
apparently
you up.
this episode is for Shane and Scott.
Well, we're talking about the film, and
sometimes
you're sitting over here like.
Let me teach you a little thing about acting. Sometimes
are you
have to watch and listen of what's going on stage.
Uh-huh.
So if you're talking too much and you're talking too much, maybe look at me and go, "Oh shit! I just got done talking about 5 minutes of."
Well, I'm sorry, Dave.
What I thought was going to be a fun and interesting fact about you being a sound guy, but it would just turn out like, oh, everybody saw the movie.
I'm sorry, Dave. Maybe did we have to send you an invitation to let you know? Oh, come on in and join the conversation. Or are you just going to sit there like a bump on a log?
So everybody, I'm going to take a few minutes off of myself right now.
You ain't taking that.
I knew about the movie from renting it. And I remember I rented it, and I was in high school, and I told everybody, "You guys have got to go rent this movie, Die Hard." Actually, I think I even let one of my friends borrow it, and then he let someone borrow it, and then I got it back, and then everybody started watching it, and that's how a lot of my friends found out about it, was through the magic VHS era, and plus, I don't know if you guys remember it, but the movie was very controversial at the time because it was a very, very violent movie. I don't know. Would you guys agree with that movie being very violent?
No,
I don't know.
not
For
really.
the time, I don't think so. Not with everything else that was out at the same time.
Like what?
Well, I mean, you still had Terminator that was out.
I mean, you had Scarface came out in the '80s. I mean, that was a real violent movie, but
Yeah,
I think we
kept getting.
I think probably what it was the fact that it had so much humor, and part of the humor was in the killing of people, which they probably did not like. So I can see where people would get a little bit bent out of shape about that, because it trivialized.
I never heard anybody
Like
getting
death.
out of shape because of the violence in Die Hard.
I remember hearing stuff on TV, and
Really?
there were some reviews that were a little negative like that. But the thing is, it just struck a nerve with everybody that it was just fun. But it's like most movies. There's always detractors. Not everybody's going to like something, and if they want to make something out of it, they will. But
Right.
yeah. But at the time too, that was the beginning of violence in video games. So it's that same kind of crowd that blamed a lot of those
Right.
things.
I like the part where the Asian guy looks around and grabs a candy bar out of the candy thing.
What's that guy's name?
He's been in a ton of
Well,
movies.
he's the one that
Oh,
was torturing Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was the jerk.
another good Christmas movie.
We should have to we should actually look this guy up and do a rundown of every movie that he's in, because his IMDb list has got to be phenomenal.
Jamie, get on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. But no, it was just that was just a good movie. The in fact, I think Die Hard was like one of the few movies that actually wore out on our VHS. I watched that one a lot. That one and the original Star Wars, I think we watched so much we actually wore out the tapes.
Yeah.
Which was pretty impressive at the time.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well.
All right. Well, that was Die Hard, everybody.
There you go.
One of the best Christmas movies ever.
Think so?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, as far as
not the, but a.
Yeah. Now, it's not a Christmas-themed movie.
Well, kind of is.
Well, no.
Set
I
in
mean, it
Christmas.
is, but it's not like we
It's
were
a
talking
Wonderful
about earlier.
Life.
Yeah, it's not like It's a Wonderful Life or Miracle on 34th
Well,
Street.
It kind of is. He has a redemption with his wife at the end of the movie.
No,
Yeah,
no, it's
that
not.
was a miracle.
It's not.
It was a miracle.
It's a miracle they got out of there alive.
Yeah.
It's not
That's
kind of
right.
is.
It's
And he also
it's a
saved
Christmas
all those
miracle.
people.
He's
so
talking too
that-
much now. You can shut
That
up.
was
again.
see, that's
But no, it was a good movie. It's very 80s.
Oh,
I mean,
definitely.
it is such an 80s movie. You just can't get away from that one. It's just like it's almost like one of those like epitome of the 80s action flick. But it was just done so well. It was just done so well.
Mhm.
So yeah, definitely one of my top Christmas films.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well, wrap it up. And we'll come back. We'll do a little more deep dive into some more Christmas stuff.
all right.
All right.
It's got snow in it. Well, anyway, it's in California. My bad.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you
Do you
very
have
much.
anything else to add there, Mr. Scott, Mr. Audio Visual Tech?
No, I don't. I just never heard of that. The violence thing.
Yeah. No, but it's like the people that were always dogging the Dungeons and Dragons for the devil worship. It's the same thing. And in the 80s, you had a lot of people that were trying to blame a lot of different social activity and things on movies and entertainment. So it just came from more of a strict, almost like a more religious background where certain things weren't supposed to be glorified.
So you do think that this is a Christmas movie then?
Oh, I think so. I think so, very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even if it wasn't intended to be, it's turned into one. So it's
Right.
even if it was just meant to be an action film, it's turned into a Christmas classic. You'll actually see it reruns on TV and stuff right around the holidays because
Right.
that's just how it works out.
Would you say the same thing for maybe Lethal Weapon, or is that maybe another time for another conversation about that?
I think not as much to me on Lethal Weapon because in Lethal Weapon they didn't lean into all the Christmas music as much. Because if you think about,
Not really, there, sir.
well,
They had Jingle House Rock at the very beginning of the movie.
Okay.
Lethal Weapon.
and then
And then they referenced other things throughout the movie about Christmas. They even showed a clip of Scrooge towards the end with Gary Busey when he shoots the TV, remember?
Merry fucking Christmas.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was a lot of Christmas stuff in there.
yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like it's as
that's-
heavily leaned into.
That's one of the reasons Riggs was going to blow his head off because it was Christmas time and he was missing his wife.
Well,
So,
no,
I mean,
that's
we
true.
could
See,
get into
that's-
this Lethal Weapon stuff right now if you want. We can keep going.
I don't have a problem with that. But see, to me, it even though it references Christmas, and granted, they spent the whole time in decorating the house and getting the tree, and of course the tree gets
Yeah.
run over and everything. And I guess they didn't have all the lawn ornaments and stuff. But to me, the Lethal Weapon movies are more Lethal Weapon movies and not Christmas.
Yeah, but this was the first
So-
Lethal Weapon.
I know.
Good
And
point.
maybe in hindsight, it's lost the Christmas angle to me because of all the sequels.
Well, Die Hard and a bunch of sequels too.
Yeah, but nobody watched those.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, what's the difference? So I
Are
mean,
you talking about Die
mean,
Hard with a Vengeance? It was classic.
Lethal Weapon has just as much Christmas or maybe more than Die Hard in there.
I don't know. Just didn't feel like
I
it.
mean, they show him buying
Yeah.
a Christmas tree at the beginning.
Yeah, and that is actually one of the best ones too, because that's when he's rolling around on the ground and he
Right.
shoots upside down with that, like bah, 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 like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what? Maybe, I could easily be wrong on that one.
See? Now the
But
Thanksgiving
still, for
miracle.
some reason, and maybe it's just because of the, the just the beginning music of Die Hard and just how, to me, it just leaned more heavily into it without it being the setting. I don't know. That's a good discussion though.
Yeah. So I mean, it does have that, but you don't hear that
Yeah, you
much
don't,
about Lethal Weapon being a Christmas movie like you do the Die Hard one.
right.
But it had just as much stuff about Christmas in it than Die Hard did.
Yeah.
Because Die Hard really didn't keep referencing Christmas like Lethal Weapon did all through the film.
Yeah, and I think maybe
Yeah.
it was just because it was a Christmas party and takes place in one night. You know, so
Right.
where Lethal Weapon is over several days.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and so I think it just has that Christmas party massacre kind of vibe to it. You know, it's like the holiday Christmas party gone wrong.
Right.
Where Lethal Weapon is, it takes place during the Christmas season, but I think maybe because it's drug across, narratively several days, maybe that's why. I don't know.
Or maybe people just pick to choose bullshit. Maybe
Well,
it's
they
just
just
maybe
decided-
it's just all bullshit.
I think they just like Die Hard better. That's what I think.
You think that's what it is? You know? What do you think there, Spanky? I mean, do you think?
Spanky.
Well, I don't know. You're just sitting there being quiet again. I don't know what your problem is.
Spanky,
You know?
what the fuck? Yes, I do spank every once in a while.
Okay.
I like the part where the whole house, the camera zooms out, and then you see the destruction of the Murtaugh home, and he decides to go over to that one little light that's blinking by itself.
Are we going to do the Lethal
Screws
Weapon
it
right
in.
now too?
No, it sounds like we've already gone into it. So
we might as well
keep
just
going.
keep going about
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon then, right?
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
we.
Yeah, we kind of already had.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know
All
why
right.
you're stuck in the past.
Well, I
just
thought
kept
we
going.
were still talking about the Christmas aspect of it, but
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Well, what do you think, Dave? I mean, where do you see Lethal Weapon falling as far as a Christmas movie as opposed to Die Hard? Or do you think there's a reason why Die Hard gets embraced more as a Christmas movie than Lethal Weapon?
I've heard both. I haven't heard more than one. I've heard they both are kind. It's not necessarily like Scrooged with a gun or Scrooge harder or something like that. But I mean,
what?
the Lethal Weapon. What?
Scrooge with a gun or Scrooge harder?
I said it's not like
He's saying it's not over the top Christmas.
Oh, okay.
themed. It's not like throwing in, like Little Timmy's Got a Gun. It's kind of
Oh,
thing. It's like,
Yeah.
or Rudolph's Revenge or something along those lines. But
I think they've actually made that movie.
they probably did.
But yeah, I would consider it a Christmas movie. I would. Did you guys go see that in the theater, or did you guys watch it on VHS like I did?
That one I saw in the theater.
I think I saw both of them on VHS. I didn't see them in the theater.
I saw both of them in the theater, and that was just, it was really just because I was just working at the time and had money, and that was what you did.
Right.
Like everyone got together
Yeah.
and we went out on the weekend
I
and,
can't remember
and
if I-
hit the movies
I
because the
might
movies
have
were
seen.
cheap.
Yeah.
I might have seen Die Hard in the theater. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we usually go and see it at least once, and then as soon as it hit the dollar theater, like a month later, you go see it like 3-4 times.
Right.
And if you were lucky, you'd go and see it with your friends, and then like your family would want to see something, and then you get to go again,
That's true.
and not have to pay for it, which was even better. So
Plus, I think it helped with. I think Die Hard came out in the spring or summer of when it came out on video, but Lethal Weapon, for some reason, I remember that coming out like the first part of December. So maybe that's why I kind of think of it as more of a Christmas movie, because it came out during that month in December, and you watch it and you're like, well, it could be,
Yeah,
it's a cool ass.
Well, actually, yeah, because release date
Christmas
wise,
movie.
it does tie in more with Christmas. I just need to go back and rewatch it. I mean, it's a great film, and like you said, when Murtaugh's, when he's kind of lamenting over his, wife, being killed or dying and stuff, and
what?
not Murtaugh, excuse me, Riggs.
Right. Okay.
Sorry. When Riggs is doing all that. Sorry, I got my guys mixed up. They look a lot alike.
Yeah. They're brothers.
Yeah. Yeah, but so yeah, you do kind of forget about that because there's he had just all that trauma and stuff, and so you really had a kind of a sympathetic character, even though he was crazy.
And for me, even though I think I might have seen, can't remember if I've seen Mel Gibson in very much stuff. That was the one that really, for me, shot Mel Gibson out to me. Even though he had done Mad Max and stuff, like that. I don't think I had seen Mad Max.
I think Beyond Thunderdome came out before Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, see, and I guess maybe I just wasn't a fan of that movie or didn't think about going to the movies to see that. But when Lethal Weapon came out, that's for me when I became a Mel Gibson fan. You know, I loved it.
Danny Glover, because
Yeah, really, that was really a standout for Danny Glover. I think the only time I'd remember Danny Glover before that was Witness.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Where he was a bad guy.
Where he played a bad guy, yeah.
Because did
And
Color
even though
Purple
he'd
come
done-
out before Lethal Weapon?
No, I would think that's after, wasn't it?
No, it's got to be before Lethal Weapon.
Oh, maybe it was. Maybe it was.
And it's such, because we watched that movie a lot, and it was just weird seeing him just play
But
an
I mean-
awful character. Now he's like a cool.
He's like the cool
Yeah,
dad.
well, see,
Dad.
that's the thing. He always played these little kind of bit parts and these characters. But Lethal Weapon, with him and the chemistry between those two guys was just pretty incredible. You could feel it. You know,
Oh,
that
yeah.
these guys really liked each other. I mean, you know.
Yeah, and it was a neat family dynamic, you know, that they had, and then, you know, trying to get Riggs and getting him out of his depression and getting him into the family to where he felt like he belonged.
Right.
You know, where he was just kind of like, he was a cop, but he was kind of a loner. And then
Right.
he kind of got more friendly with the other police officers, and he became kind of part of their family, you know, especially as it moved along in the series.
Oh yeah,
Which was
adopted
great.
they adopted him kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, really adopted him into their family. He became part of their family.
Yeah.
You know.
That's neat. It's a really good through line, and it shows the characters not only developing but evolving, and the whole relationship evolves, and yeah, it's what made that whole
And
series
it,
so
and
good.
it kind of gave, I would say it gave a little bit of tribute to the veterans too. About this guy had been in Vietnam, you know,
Mhm.
and he was kind of on the edge, you know. He had been in special forces and stuff, and I at least for me, I felt that way.
Yeah,
you know.
he was definitely dealing with the PTSD and a lot of other things, and that's what
Right.
a lot of people go through in the holidays. There's
Right.
a lot of people that don't handle holidays.
And that scene where he's got that Beretta and he puts that sucker in his mouth, you know, where he's about to off himself.
yeah,
I mean, it's pretty intense, you know, because I mean, you think, I mean, he's starting to pull the trigger,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. No, it's a very intense scene, and it's what gives him a lot of sympathy.
And then
know?
you got the good bad guys like Gary Busey as the asshole, Mitchell Ryan as the head General McAllister, you know.
Yeah.
That used to be in Vietnam in the Shadow Company's, you know, company commander, you know. And
tying a lot of that backstory,
tying
in,
all
and-
all that these guys were all Vietnam vets, you know. And you know, it ties it into Danny Glover, you know.
yeah.
And Michael Hudsucker, is that his name? Sucker.
Sucker. Yeah.
Yeah. His daughter, you know, she dives off at the beginning of the movie, you know, after the jailhouse,
yeah.
you know, who ends up being Woody Harrelson's girlfriend on Cheers. You
I
know.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean.
That was her?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Huh.
So I mean, you know, and so, some of the lines in Lethal Weapon, I mean, I quote them to this day. Me and my cousins, we'll get together and we just start throwing out lines from Lethal Weapon. You know, Mitchell Ryan, when he looks down and he sees Danny Glover and he says, "Kill that cop, son of a bitch." You know, the way he says that. You know, we must have rewound that. Me and my cousin Jason rewound that back and forth and just cracked up every time he does would say that. You know.
Well, that's like when the guy was like threatening to jump off the building.
Oh, yeah,
you want to jump? You want to jump? All
Yeah,
right, let's go. You know, the guy's like, no, I'm okay. You know, it's like he drags him off the wall.
He said,
That guy's crazy.
he jumps
kill me.
off the building with him. Guy's like, ah! And remember he said, "Yeah, you'll be killing cop," and he goes, yeah, psycho nut cop. You know, the way that guy, you know, and remember he says,
that. That's exactly what he says too.
why are you doing this? None of your goddamn business. You know, you know, and why was that guy going to jump? Because it's Christmas. Because the holidays.
There you go.
So it has more of these Christmas
Yeah.
things in it, I think, than Die Hard does. You know,
I think we
But-
do. We got a
when you
better
come to
taste
think
for
about
it,
it.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but those are a great series of movies. And
Yeah.
but both of them were. They had great chemistry with the actors. The lines were good. The dialogue was
Yeah.
great. And you cared. You cared
And
about the characters.
Remember when
Yeah.
he's in there, when that Asian guy's in there torturing Riggs? I mean, he's like, "Ah!" You know, the way Mel Gibson screams as he's getting tortured.
Well, so
you know,
it's the same guy, right? So it's like he's
yeah,
in both movies.
yeah, he's the same guy. You know,
He's in all the Christmas films.
yeah, and Mel Gibson's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm gonna effing kill both of you." You know, Gary Busey is fun in it too. You know, remember at the beginning when they put the lighter under his arm?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
To
That
show
guy's
he's
like-
got loyalty, you know?
That guy's like, Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, man.
You'll
Remember-
pay? Yeah,
Remember
man,
when
I'll
he first
pay.
comes in there and he says, "Where the hell did you get him? Psychos are us?" I don't think you're funny. And he goes, "I don't think this whole goddamn setup's funny." And then when he starts, Jesus Christ, he says, "You're out there like effing Pluto." You know? I mean, see, as these lines, you know, me and my cousin, we just go, "Oh, we watch this over and over," and just quoted those lines after, you know.
Or that
To
part.
this day, he'll call up and I'll spout off something like that, you know, and he'll start cracking up.
There one part at the last fight scene when Riggs is like putting his legs around Gary Busey's head, trying to choke him and shit, and he's sitting there going, "Yeah, yeah," and then he's like,
Yeah.
Riggs starts yelling, or Murtaugh yells out, "Riggs, you sick son of a bitch!"
Frank is. He said, he said, "Get that shit off my lawn." After he.
So, I mean, are you guys trying to say that these are Christmas movies, but they're not really movies that try to put the Christmas spirit in you?
I don't really think they're per se Christmas movies myself. I think they're set around Christmas time. But I don't really consider these movies actually Christmas movies.
Well, I think Dave, you hit it with the spirit of Christmas. So yeah, if it comes down to the spirit of Christmas, not Christmas movies.
Right.
If it comes down to being fun and Christmas themed and something enjoyable to watch around Christmas, definitely so. So I think you nailed it on that one, Dave. I think you made the right call on that one. It's that spirit of Christmas. So yeah. So next time around, I think we should focus on the spirit of Christmas movie. See
Think
what we
so?
can come up with that.
Do
Yeah,
it-
why not?
do it-
Why not?
Do a couple of movies about that.
Yeah, because that works great for me because that's like Nightmare Before Christmas.
You know, I don't think I've seen that. I don't think I ever
Goodness
watched
gracious
that.
me.
Yeah, that's Johnny Depp, right? The little animated thing.
No, it's not Johnny Depp.
Oh, it's not.
But it's
it's
the
Tim
stop
Burton.
motion. Tim Burton.
Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right. Well,
I've
maybe
never
we'll get
seen
Scott
that.
some culture before the next one.
maybe so.
All right.
Yeah. Anything else about Lethal Weapon that you can think of?
No, but now I want to go back and rewatch it, so I'm gonna have to
You know,
go
what?
and rewatch that again. 'cause it's
Hang
so
on,
fun.
Danny Glover's wife, Darlene. Is that Darlene Love, or is that the daughter? No, it's. She
No.
was a singer with. Who was she with? Not the Supremes, but she was a singer.
Oh, not sure.
Yeah, she was in a famous group. Oh gosh, what's the group? I can't think of. the
If
name.
you guys remember, comment down on below.
Hey, who are you
There
talking
you
to?
go.
Who are you talking to?
Our listeners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought.
Did you hear?
Yeah.
Comment down below.
Yeah, 3 or 4 of
Are
them.
you going
might
to tell
go.
them? Hey, and if you want to suggest a movie or a theme,
Definitely. so,
Also,
yeah.
like this video, subscribe,
I wasn't
share
done.
it
I
with
wasn't
people and
done
stuff like
again.
that.
I was not done.
I don't know, but Dave's
If
got
you-
that outro voice. I like
Yeah,
it.
I was going to say spitballcinema@gmail.com, Dave, before you interrupted me. Okay.
Or just put it in the comments down below.
You can also comment down below how you really feel about Scott. Well, anyway, so this will be our Christmas but not Christmas movies
There we go.
episode.
Another Christmas movie coming on later on, and we'll
And as you can tell, we have a lot of Christmas cheer going on around this
Yeah.
table right
you a
now.
bunch of catty bitches.
You know.
And on that note,
All right, everyone. Thank you for listening, and have a Merry Christmas.
yeah.
And yes, I say Merry Christmas. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
We say it here on Spitball Cinema. So, anything else there, Dave?
No.
No, are you
Thanks for
okay,
hanging out.
Dave?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.